Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Yoga with Laurie and Berkshire Yoga Dance and Fitness. Great to have you here. Namaste. Happy Sunday. How are we all feeling? It must be day 50 something into isolation, right? I hope we're all doing well with that physically, mentally, and emotionally. So in today's practice, I'm going to do a number of moves we don't do very often. These come more from my personal practice. They're moves that I've found over time, if you do them regularly, can really give the body a very gentle awakening, a very deliberate awakening. So it won't be quite as vigorous as what we're used to, but at the same time it's hopefully going to bring you into your own experience of sensation and feeling. And this in turn will affect your nervous system, bringing the parasympathetic nervous system to the foreground and thus supporting the digestive system, the circulatory system, and the immune system will all get supported by the parasympathetic nervous state. So enjoy your practice. Let's start and come into a comfortable seated position. Ideally, you want to have a slight tilt forward in the pelvis, so using a blanket underneath you, sitting on the edge of the blanket. Feel nice and stable as you rock from side to side. Check that stability, and then Rolodex the hips forward and backward. If you have knee issues, of course, you can always extend a leg or both legs, finding a comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders roll back and down to open up the chest, palms face up. Close the eyes. Bring your attention to your inner experience. So bringing your attention to your inner experience is very different from bringing your attention to the outer experience. When we bring our attention to the outer experience, we have to use a set of skills that are very different, and they often involve tension. When we bring our attention inside, we need to move away from tension and come into relaxation to ease. So everything we do to master the outside world has to be left behind to become acquainted with the inner world. Just the opposite. So when we achieve and strive in the outer world, for the inner world we need to surrender, relax, allow. We can't force ourselves into our interiority. So let yourself remain at ease. If you find yourself habitually coming out into efforting, struggling, just relax. Relax the body, slow the breath, and now let each new breath become a little deeper. As you exhale, gently squeeze the navel towards the spine, empty completely. Inhale, relax the belly. Feel the belly expand. Exhale, squeeze empty. Relax the belly to inhale. Let each new breath get a little deeper. And if the deepening of the breath becomes efforting, becomes a struggle, I want you to relax and just breathe at a level that feels suitable, adequate for where you're at right now. Don't force yourself to breathe deeply. Allow the breath to deepen. Two very different things. Allowing the breath to deepen often means we Breathe in a little more gently, more slowly. And then the breath will find its own way through 3 different expansions. And those 3 different expansions, when they combine together, become what's called Diga Pranayama, the expanded breath. And it goes something like this. Squeeze empty. Exhale. Relax the belly. Inhale. Feel the belly expand. Keep breathing in until you feel the rib cage expand. Keep breathing in until the collarbones lift and widen. Exhale, release. Squeeze empty. Without effort. And then once that rhythm becomes natural, comfortable, coordinate the movement of the arms. Inhale, lifting the arms above the head. Palms together. Exhale, release. Hands float back. Grab the knees. Drop the chin and round the back. Synchronizing breath. Inhaling, lift up, reach up, look up. Eyes can be closed, but the gaze of the eyes looks up towards the crown. Exhale, floating the hands down, chin towards the chest, eyes look down towards the belly. Draw the navel back into the spine. So continue moving with that rhythm of your own breath. Once again, not forcing it, but surrendering to your own rhythm. When you've found the depth of your breath today, start to layer on the ujjayi sound, the ocean sounding breath. As you drop the chin towards the chest, the ujjayi sound will become louder, more natural. As you lift it up, it will be a little more quiet. The next time you lift, if you'd like to join me in a breath retention, hold the breath at the top of the inhale until you feel you need to let it go. Without straining, just until you feel that hunger to breathe. Keep holding the breath until that hunger grows and grows and grows. Hold it till it becomes a small urgency to breathe, and then release. Hands rest against the thighs, palms face up. Let all technique go. Feel the sensations that breath retention created. And then lean back into the hands, change the cross of the leg. And then walk the hands forward. If you have a block handy, you can bring your head down to a block. And just reach forward. Your head might come all the way to the ground. Feel the sensations, these new sensations in this forward fold. Allowing the hips to rock gently side to side. Letting the head turn side to side. And then coming to stillness, relax and surrender the upper body. Feel the aliveness of sensations inside the body as you relax. The paradox here is the more you relax, the more you feel the subtle sensations within the body. And then using the hands to lift you up, walk the hands back. And then remove whatever you're sitting on. the blanket or whatever. Stand your feet against the mat and rock the knees from side to side. As you rock the knees from side to side, allow that outer hip to come forward more and the head to turn back more, so you feel a little more sensation in that rocking and in that twisting. Now the next time the knees come to the left, pause and walk your hands around and come down onto your forearms. Knees are on the side, forearms are underneath you. Close your eyes and become aware of the sensations that you feel the most in the hips, the back, the neck, the arms. And start to move into a little cat and cow here. As you exhale, drop the chin towards the chest, rounding the back. And as you inhale, lengthen the crown of the head away from the tailbone, trying to get as long as you can, using the hands and the forearms to pull against the mat to lengthen the spine. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Crown of the head comes away from the tailbone. Elbows pull the shoulders back down towards the ribs. Ribs lift up. Now hold that length. Hold that length. And then let the back of the neck lengthen. So you want the back of the neck to be parallel to the ground. So the chin is not lifted. The chin is not to the chest. It's slightly tucked to keep the back of the neck lengthened. Hold this length. Hold this length, and now bring your attention back to the breath. Let each new breath become deeper. Slowly build up to your Diga Pranayama. Add the Ujjayi sound. Keep the length in the body. Each inhale lengthening, each exhale holding the length. On the next inhale, extend that right leg out. Bring that left forearm underneath you and lift the right hand up over the head, stacking right shoulder over left, right hip over left hip, and now lift that right foot. Spread the hands, spread the toes, point the toes, reach with the fingers, and try to lengthen a little bit more between the fingers and the toes. Feel the stretch sensations. Hold that Ujjayi breath, that ocean sounding breath, and on the next exhale, bend the right knee. Right hand comes down and grabs hold of that right ankle or right toes. And start to imagine that you're an archer and the bow is starting to strengthen. You're pulling the bowstring back. So the bowstring pulled back is the foot pushing into the hand. The foot pushing into the hand pulls back that right shoulder, starting to stretch open the top of the chest. And as that foot starts to pull back even more, you start to feel stretch in that bottom hip flexor. So two stretch sensations here, one across the front of the shoulder and the top of that pectoral muscle, and that right hip, all stretching. And now deepen the breath and try to connect those two stretches together with the stretch of the belly on the inhale. Join them together. Exhale. Inhale. Join those stretches. One more. Now release the foot. Bring that right hand back under. Come onto the forearms. Doing 5 more breaths here. Lengthening with each inhale. Exhale. Pulling the navel in. Use the ujjayi sound to keep you focused. Now on the 5th exhale, allow the whole body to melt down into the earth. Let the shoulders come down, hands come down, cheek comes down. Let the whole body relax and melt. Feel all the sensations from that extended twist. Let everything go. Inhale the hands under the shoulders. Bring the hands behind you as you stand the feet on the edges of the mat and sway the knees from side to side. And once again, starting to bring the hip and the neck around a little deeper with each rotation. Now the next time the knees come to the right, turn the body to the right, come onto the forearms. I'm going to change orientation so that you can see what I'm up to. And in this orientation, start to come into cat and cow. Exhaling, rounding the back, pulling the navel in. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, lifting the head. Now the next time you come to neutral, start to lengthen the spine, trying to get from the tailbone to the crown of the head as long as you can. Each inhale, pull the hands back towards you so you feel the shoulders come back and the ribs lift up. Feel the spine lengthen. Each exhale, hold the length. When you're as long as you can reach, make sure the neck is in a neutral position, the back of the neck long. Head's not lifted, head's not tucked. And start to move into your Diga Pranayama. Start to slowly build the breath. Each inhale lengthening. Each exhale holding that new length. On the next exhale, bring that right forearm underneath the shoulder, left shoulder stacks on right shoulder, left hip on top of right hip. Extend that left leg, lift that left leg a few inches off the ground, point the toes, left hand comes up over the head. And once again, work on lengthening the whole body from those left fingers all the way down to that left toe. Feeling that stretch sensation with the breath. Bringing aliveness and vitality into the body. And then exhale, bending that left knee. Grab hold of that left foot and start to draw the bow. Feel the chest open up. That left shoulder comes back. Push the foot into the hand, and as the foot pushes the hand further out, that bowstring becomes tighter and tighter. You start to feel the tension from that left shoulder, like the whole bow tense from that left shoulder all the way down to the left knee into that left foot. Feel that whole bowstring and bow tightening and tightening, building tension. And when you feel the stretch sensations in the knee, in the thigh, in the chest, join them all together with the stretch sensation of the breath in the belly. Let it become one unbroken stretch. On the next exhale, release. Bring both forearms down onto the ground and start to lengthen with each inhale. And each exhale. Shoulders away from the ears, lengthening. Three more breaths. Surrender into all the experience you're having. On that third exhale, melt into the mat. Let the arms come away, shoulders relax, body melts into the mat. Feel the breath. Feel the surrender. Inhale the hands under the shoulders. Come onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Cat and cow. With the breath. Inhale, belly drops down, tailbone lifts up, chin lifts up. Exhale. On the next exhale, roll all the way back to child pose. Let the belly rest against the thighs. Head comes down to the earth. And then bring your hands back to the heels. Hold the heels. Feel embryo. And then feel the energy in embryo as you grab the heels. Start to lift the hips. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Now the goal is not to apply pressure to the crown of the head. The goal is to lift the hips and let the crown of the head caress the mat. So you're rounding the back, chin to the chest, crown of the head caresses, rounding the back, hold the heels, lift the hips, and release. Bring the hands underneath you and walk the hands back, coming onto the shins. Resting the palms face up. Now clasp the hands together. As you clasp the hands together, as if you're circling a big tree, hold that tree, drop the chin to the chest, round the shoulder blades, drop the chin to the chest, feel that opening, and then release the hands and trace a line around the horizon and bring the hands around behind you. Clasp the fingers behind you. If you can, clasp the heel palms together so you feel the heels of the hands together as well. Push the knuckles down towards the ground, and as you do, draw the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades. If you can keep holding the heel palms together, it's going to hold the stretch a little more deeply for you, and then start to lift those hands up away from the hips. On the next exhale, roll the belly down the thighs like a ball rolling down the hill. Lift the hands up over the head, forehead to the mat. Only if it feels safe and comfortable for you, you can bring the crown of the head to the floor. Lift those hands up a little higher. Only do this if it feels right for your body. Come into that full yoga mudra. And then slowly release. Drop the hands. Keep the hands clasped together. Let the head lift up. Come up to perpendicular. Shoulders back. Heel palms together. And then finally stretch out a little further. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And then release the hands, palms face up. Feel the heat and the energy that's released into the body from Yoga Mudra. Come down onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Curl the toes. Curl the toes and lift the knees 2 or 3 inches off the mat into bear pose. Just feel bear pose. Now, push the hips back as far as you can, trying to sit on the heels, but keep the knees lifted so you feel a deep stretch sensation through the balls of the feet and the toes. And now start to lift the knees another few inches. Keep the knees bent. Keep the hips back. Start to spread the weight around the hands, into the finger pads, into the heel palms, into the whole circumference of the hands. Lengthen a little more through the arms, and then wrap the shoulder blades around towards the chest so the shoulder blades are trying to come apart. Lengthen the tailbone further away, and as you do that, reach the crown of the head towards the thumbs. Keep the spine nice and long. Knees are still bent. And then slowly press the heels in towards the ground, coming into your downward dog. Lift the left foot behind you so it becomes an extension of the spine. So it's not too high. Hips are still square. Press down into that right foot onto the mat. Press through the hands. Now point the toe to the back of the room and then lift that left foot as high as you can up into the sky. Now keeping all that height, bring that left foot around to the left as if there's someone beside you and you're trying to lift that left foot up and over them. Bring it around a little further and then come all the way back. Lift up. Float that left foot back. Downward dog. Drop the knees. Spread the knees wide. Toes together. Sink back into child. Let the head rest against the earth or blocks or stacked hands or fists. Let the head relax. Once again, feel the release of energy into the body from downward dog and then three-legged dog out to the side. Feel how alive that leaves the body. Inhale, coming up. We're going to do the other side. I'll turn to the other side just so you can see. Hands under shoulders. Curl. Toes under the feet. Come into bear pose. Knees lifted a few inches off the ground. And then come all the way back onto the heels. Knees stay an inch or two off the ground. Now feel all that backward momentum in the body. Keep that tailbone back and then lift up. Knees remain bent. You might even feel the ribs against the thighs. Lengthen through the hands. Spread the fingers comfortably wide. Arms extend. Wrap the shoulder blades. Tailbone reaches back. Crown of the head reaches forward. Heels press down. Feel that downward dog. Float the right foot out as an extension of the spine. Knee and toes pointing towards the ground. Right hip nice and square. Point the toes. Now lift that foot as high as you can. Eiffel Tower into the ground. Press down through that left foot. Now keeping all that height, sweep that right foot around to the side as if you're trying to come up and over someone. A little further, a little higher. And then sweep it back, lift up. Exhale, dropping down, bending the knees. Child pose. And then inhale, come up onto the sit bones. How are we feeling? A little more energized? I'm going to redirect, so I'm not on my mat, but you can stay on your mat. Now, standing the feet underneath you, grab hold of the thighs. Come back to the breath. Roll the shoulders back and down. And start to walk the feet a little closer to the hips. Have the hands strongly gripping the thighs. And there comes a point where the feet just hover an inch or two off the ground. Find that tipping point, that balance point. Curl the toes back towards the shin. And then slowly bring the feet up until the shins are parallel to the ground. Toes are back, shoulders are back. Start to notice the sensations in the body that start to grow. Allow your attention to be everywhere at the same time. So you can hear the traffic outside. You can feel the breath coming into the nostrils. You can feel the growing sensations. Now slowly extend those legs out nice and straight. Toes curled back. So the bones and the muscles are nice and stable, but the nervous system is starting to dance around inside the body. To take it further, release the hands, palms face up. Feel the breath. Be aware of the emotions and thoughts that come with upward facing boat. For 3 more breaths. On the third breath, slowly lower the body down to the floor and let everything release. Let everything melt and dissolve. Simply surrendering to what is, not trying to change it. Letting go of any narrative that may have generated from that pose. Letting go of stories, judgments, analysis. Simply feeling the dissolution, the release of energy after holding both poses. Bend the knees and stand the feet on the mat. And as you inhale, press down with the feet and lift the hips up. As you exhale, come down one vertebra at a time, articulating each vertebra. Inhale, lift up a little higher perhaps each time. Exhale, come down. Start to add the arms as you inhale. Reach the arms up over the head. Palms face up, back of the hands rest against the ground. Exhale, float the hands back. Let the palms and the hips come down simultaneously. Inhale, lift up, arms reach up and over the head. Exhale, returning simultaneously with the hips to the earth. Continue moving with the breath, inhaling as you lift up into this variation of bridge pose. Exhaling as you come down. Chin to the chest. The next time you inhale, lift and hold, hands back up over the head. Press down through the heels, and as you press down through the heels, squeeze the buttocks, lift the hamstrings. Try to lift the tailbone as high as the knees, if not higher. Make sure the back of the neck is long and safe. Sternum might be pressing into the chin. Maintain the integrity of the lift with each inhale. Don't let any loss of territory. You can inhale a little higher, hold higher, and once you've held higher, let that be the new gain and hold. Diga Pranayama. 3 more breaths. On that last exhale, slowly melt back into the mat. Bring the soles of the feet together. Knees splay out to the side. Palms face up beside the hips. Let all techniques fall away. Simply pay attention and notice, witness what's happening. Resisting the temptation to analyze or judge. Inviting relaxation and ease with each breath. letting the body dissolve and sink. And then extending the legs out. Push out through the heels. Spread the toes. Reach the arms over the head. So we'll have a variation of Yastikasana. With Yastikasana, you're lengthening fingers away from heels, heels away from fingers. So there's a consistent lengthening of the body. At the same time, try to anchor down the low back. Draw the navel back a little bit so there's a shortening in the front of the body. And try to anchor the shoulder blades. So you feel that isometric tension, lengthening and deepening the back body into your mat. For 5 slow Diga Pranayamas here. Keep lengthening with each breath. Each exhale is that opportunity to press that low back in to the mat imprint. Now, as an option, this is only an option, an invitation, on the 5th inhale, you can hold the breath until you need to let it go. As you hold the breath, lift the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Push the tip of the tongue into the roof of the mouth. When there's a need to breath, let everything dissolve. Let everything come back to Shavasana, palms face up. Inhale the hands over the head. Bring the toes together, the feet together. Now point the toes away this time from the head. Lift the head, lift the neck, lift the shoulders, and lift the hands as if you're looking down at the lower body. Squeeze the buttocks, brace the low back into your mat, and then lift the feet a few inches off the ground. Hold hollow rock with the breath. Continue the breath to flow freely here. Keep that low back embedded. Three more breaths. On that third exhale, let everything dissolve. Bring the knees to the chest. Hug the knees and rock from side to side. Now roll all the way over to one side. Come up onto all fours. And then come down onto your belly. Bring the big toes together. Let the forehead rest against the mat or the chin, whatever's more comfortable. And then bring the hands down beside you, palms down into the earth. Bring your attention back to your Diga Pranayama. Focus everything on the breath. Start to squeeze the buttocks, and as you squeeze the buttocks, start to feel the pelvis pushing into the mat. Feel an engagement in that low body. On the next inhale, lift the feet and lift the knees off the mat. On the next inhale, lift the head, shoulders, and chest off the mat. If you can, on the next inhale, lift the hands off the mat, splay the fingers out to the sides. Now on the next inhale, see if you can lift the whole rib cage up off the mat. Lift the head, shoulders come back. Squeeze the buttocks and let the breath rock you forward and backward with each inhale and each exhale. Feel Navasana in the whole body. Legs strong, hips strong, low back strong. On the next exhale, release, stack the hands under the forehead. Let the forehead come down onto stacked hands. Let the whole body melt into Crocodile Pose. Bend the knees, bring the toes together, and just simply sway the hips from side to side. If the feet come apart, that's okay. More like a windshield wipering motion. And then pause, keep the knees bent, rotate the feet about the ankle joint. Change direction. And then drop the feet to the earth, hands under the shoulders, press up onto all fours, knees wide, and then slowly come back to child pose. Let the head drape down. And then grab your bolster or block or blanket to come into a comfortable seated position for meditation. Let the hips become nice and steady, rocking from side to side. And then roll the decks, the hips forward and backward. Find that long spine, shoulders roll back and down. Palms face up to support the open chest. Push down through the sit bones, lift the occipital ridge, lengthen through the back. Now let the low jaw come away from the upper jaw, so there's no pressure between the lips. Let the tip of the tongue gently, very gently, touch the roof of the mouth just behind the teeth, front teeth. So you can have a relaxed jaw and still breathe through the nose. Let the tongue relax. It's a very light touch. Bring your attention to the tip of your nose. Let the tip of the nose become very sensitive to the breath. So sensitive that as you breathe in, you feel the temperature of the air against the tip of the nostrils. It might feel cool. It might have odor. It might have a certain texture of moistness or dryness. How many qualities can you detect at this point of entry of the breath into the body? And then let your attention go from the tip of the nose slowly up through the walls, the cavities of the nostrils. Feeling the inside of the walls and the nostrils come alive with sensation each time you inhale. You may even feel the small cilia, the hairs of the nostrils, gently moving with the breeze of the breath of the inhale. Keep drawing your attention up the nostril passages until you find the septum where the nostrils enter the skull. And notice if you can feel the same qualities of that inhale at the tip of the nostrils behind the eyes into the sinus cavities, cheekbones. Remembering to explore the inner world means to let go of effort, to let go of trying, to let go of achievement. To let go of a goal. Embrace relaxation. Embrace softness. Embrace surrender. As if the structure of the skeleton and the body is simply an empty vessel for you to notice what's going on. To simply notice without judgment. To feel the sensation directly. And if you can, even letting go of naming the sensation. Letting the words that describe your experience gently float away like clouds in the sky. Simply feeling. Everything there is to feel. Relaxing with each exhale. And let the eyes, invite the eyes to join in that relaxation, that surrender. Let the eyes settle into stillness. Let go of the structure of breath. Simply witnessing the experience. Noticing that whatever your attention comes to, comes alive in the experience of the witness. Pay attention to your listening. You will hear the sound of your breath. You may hear distant sounds that normally are missed. You may hear the sound or sense the sound of your own heartbeat. If you bring your attention to the breath, you'll feel all the nuance of feeling, sensation, rhythm, depth of breath. So wherever the attention goes, the witness flows. Now can you let the witness itself, the part of you that's simply noticing, can you let it dissolve? Let it dissolve throughout the whole body so that the witness, the body, the mind and the breath become one. Start to be aware of the sounds in your environment. Perhaps hearing the sound of your own breathing return. Take a deeper breath in. And as you exhale, gently stretch the body, allowing the transition of meditation to be an opportunity to stay connected to your practice for a few more moments, transitioning slowly, still with that sense of inner connection, that introspection, that sense of surrender to your felt sense. The sense of the body that works and operates independently of the mind. Not independently of the mind, but independently of the thoughts that cross the mind's eye. And at any time through the rest of the day, just bring your attention back to our practice to notice what are the times during the day or the week ahead or the weeks ahead where you can simply soften and surrender to what is happening. That brings you to your interior experience, which can rejuvenate, refresh, and reset you when the outer experience starts to become overwhelming. So my friends, thank you for joining me on another Sunday morning. This video will be on the Berkshire Yoga Dance and Fitness website as well as my own. All right, have a wonderful day. Thank you.